What's up, guys? It's Titan from Titan Prime. We're going to be going over another turn 1 domination guide for a legendary lord. We're going to be playing the Dark Elves today. If you look over here, they can consume slaves for greater effects from buildings, which instantly complete the construction. And you can also utilize black arcs. And this is where Lokhir Fellheart does his damage. So we're going to go ahead and check that out.
Krakenlord of Karond.
Okay, so if you look over here, you can sacrifice Senath, which will improve your Corsairs and your Charybdis units. Corsairs are pretty good later in the game. Okay, we're looking at some better infantry than your basic infantry. We also have an increased income from slaves. Every port allows an recruitment for a black arc. That's super important, guys, because if you can get more black arcs, they're very efficient at boosting lords as well as the economy and their military powerhouses. We also have a minus 50% for black arc Corsair units in the lord's army. So if you're playing Lokhir Fellheart, guys, this is the way to go to keep the lowest cost for your army. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. We're going to set this campaign at normal difficulty, and as you can see, Lokhir starts all the way on the west side of the map, but there is a little trick. If you go through this spot, you can use a portal and shoot right through to the other side of the map. We're going right in. These guys play by slaves occupying major ports and sacrificing to the Anath Rema right. Okay? You got to construct a Shrine of Wintermaker on the Shrine of Cain, which, if you guys are going to do that, you're going to have to go all the way to the other side. So that's what that portal would be for. Over here. Okay. So, what we're going to be talking about today is turn 1 domination for Lokhir Fellheart. We're going to go over Black Ark. So we have one right over here, okay? And we also have Lokhir. So, what we want to do is we want to add our sorceress, which is a death sorceress, which is the best in my opinion. So we're going to get that into our army here. We're going to look at Dread Spears. We got Black Ark Corsairs, Dark Shields, and Hand Bows, as well as Pharaoh Manticore. So he starts out pretty solid. Lokhir Fellheart is a legendary lord that is going to rely on the efficiency of his economy as well as mobility. So we're going to look over here. This gives Dark Shards, Bleak Swords increased abilities, income from post-battle loot, and growth. Alright, so, well, if you're going to look over here, guys, we're going to do naval training because obviously we're going to try to get that negative upkeep for Black Arcs on top of what he already has. So we're going to go battle his business. So that would definitely be the best one to do if you're Lokhir, most likely. We're going to go over here, take a look at the buildings. Okay, so one of the things I really love is I love Shades. They're great missile infantry, okay? So, the other thing is Masters. They're pretty decent in combat, so that would be a viable lord. If you're looking for a secondary little hero. Okay, so we definitely want to grab some income right off the bat. So we're just going to grab that. And it also gives us some more slaves. Okay. Slave income at least. Alright, so we grab Lokhir. We're going to look at his character details, okay? So if you're going to take this guy into battle, you want to think about this. He has this ability just like all of the legendary lords from the Dark Elves where they can get murderous prowess, but this guy has the passive ability. Okay, he's also going to be great at dueling, so not bad option if you're trying to take a legendary lord in and duel. He doesn't have any magic though, so that's something to think about. You got to make sure you keep a sorceress in your army. And then when you look at your Black Ark here, they're going to be great at buffing up any type of Black Ark Corsair, okay? So you're definitely going to want to go for those. So let's go in. We're gonna attack this guy, Matty Oxenfurt, and we can auto resolve this. Usually this is a decisive victory, guys. So if you want to play this, go ahead. But we're just gonna auto resolve it today. Okay, we can get slaves, experience, or money. Okay, we got plenty of money right now, so we're gonna go for some slaves and some army replenishment. Get that economy going. Okay, so we're looking over here. It wants us to capture this settlement and you get a reward. So what we want to do is apply our skill points as quickly as possible before the battle. So you're going to get the Spirit Leech. That's going to give her more damage per second. And then generally what I'm going to do, especially with this guy, is I'm going to get some Inspiring Presence to buff up my leadership, and then eventually we can get into things like melee defense for your Black Arks, Corsairs. Alright, so we're going to take this guy over here. Now, Pyrrhic victory. Basically what that means, guys, is you're going to lose a lot of troops. It's going to take you a few turns to recover. So you can encircle this, and you can wait for a turn. However, we're going for max power, so that means we want to get him as much experience at the beginning as possible. Because we're actually going to be leaving this area most likely. Okay, so we can come in here, we can sack, loot, and occupy, or we can raise it. So, basically, this is going to get us the most replenishment, and we're going to get some money. So we're going to go for that. We're going to sack this. Okay. Now, remember, we need to capture and occupy this settlement. So what we can do is we can now capture it, and we can occupy it. Boom, now we get our mission, and we got a bunch of slaves from that, guys. We're going to repair that, and then you could build another income spot, right? Alright. So, we're going to watch out for this. This is another Vampire Coast fleet, and then this is our main base, so we want to protect this for the most part. So sometimes just leaving a lord in this area will be a good idea, okay? So we're just going to go ahead and do that now. We're going to look for a Lore of Death. Okay, sweet. She's got extra 10% hit points, so we're going to grab her. We're going to give her some Dread Spears. And then we're going to look at Lokhir over here. Throw some more skill points in his line, right? Okay, so if we're thinking about what we're doing next, we're probably going to be moving a lot. Okay, he already has a really powerful army, so we don't really need to buff this up yet. We're going to be looking for campaign movement range. And then for this life leeching is the way to go if you're trying to take out another legendary lord, okay? It's going to cause a lot of damage. Or, I mean, it's going to cause a lot of reserves per second when you cast a spell. So when you use Spirit Leech, it will replenish some of that Winds of Magic, okay? Okay, so now check this out. The slave economy, we can increase and we can build that up. So now look at this, guys. We already have more money coming in. Oh, look at that. Okay. So we already have 2,200 gold coming in next turn, guys. That is crazy. Alright. Now, you can go ahead and you can recruit some Black Ark Corsairs if you'd like. Because that's just going to buff up your army. I mean, you already have plenty of money, so you don't need to worry about that. And then we're going to look at our Black Ark. We want to upgrade that as soon as possible. Okay. So we're going to get that guy upgraded. And then if you look at this, he's actually going to buff anybody within range. Okay, so you see this little line? So you want to make sure that you try to keep this guy close, okay, because he can use all of these great abilities when he's battling. And then we're going to go down to our commandment, and basically what we want at the beginning. So we're going to want increased recruitment, so that's super important. And then from here, we're going to go to diplomacy, which is also really important. Look at your quick deals, okay? Boom. Nothing for this guy. So basically, he's got no friends. Okay. But that's fine. We're going to make friends later, hopefully, with the Dark Elves. Okay? So that's the basics for turn 1. Hope you guys have a great day. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Titan Prime out.
Subscribe or be dragged beneath the waves with the rest of them.